Chapter 460. After Pei Yutong left, Lin Yan fell into deep thought. From what Pei Yutong had revealed, it was obvious that the impostor was quite capable. Otherwise, she wouldn't have dared to compete with the top teams in the country. Wouldn't she have exposed herself if she had done so? In other words, the impostor was confident that she could beat the best team in the country. Otherwise, she wouldn't have agreed to compete. However, Lin Yan had no idea what was going on. She would have to attend the banquet to find out more. Lin Yan lay on her bed, feeling bored. She scrolled through Weibo and realized that Wei Shufeng's name had become a trending topic. Wei Shufeng had only posted one post on Weibo. 3 days from now will be the happiest day of my life. Wait for me. There were more than 100,000 comments and shares. Most of them were asking about what had happened and why he would be the happiest day of his life in 3 days. However, Wei Shufeng didn't reply. Others might not have known, but Lin Yan was well aware of it. 3 days from now, the impostor would be holding a private banquet. As Yeva's hardcore fan, Wei Shufeng had naturally been invited. Based on Pei Yutong's explanation, Lin Yan had learned that everyone had to sign a confidentiality agreement. The racetrack's Grim Reaper had retired due to her injury and had been keeping a low profile. She had never appeared in public or accepted interviews. Hence, anyone who attended the banquet was not allowed to speak to the media. If the media reported on it, the banquet would be cancelled. Those who were invited were all Yeva's hardcore fans. As Yeva's hardcore fans, they naturally knew Yeva's style and personality. Hence, even if they didn't sign a confidentiality agreement, no one would reveal this matter to anyone. Lin Yan was guessing that Lin Shuya would reveal to the public that she had met the racetrack's Grim Reaper after the banquet. Then, she would be able to get the role of Yeva in Legend. Lin Yan glanced at Wei Shufeng's Weibo before she exited it. 3 days later, she would give everyone a surprise. Lin Shuya wanted to ride on Yeva's popularity? No way. The impostor wanted to impersonate her to make money? No way. She had already started to despise her, but the impostor was using her identity to make money. She was 100,000 times more despicable than Lin Shuya. The next day, Lin Yan had originally wanted to meet Yun Xian and Mo Shuyun. However, Yun Xian wasn't feeling well and had to go to the hospital, while Mo Shuyun had to settle some personal matters. Hence, they had to meet at the He family's mansion that night. Lin Yan searched for news about Yeva. In the end, the results were the same as before. The racetrack's Grim Reaper was severely injured. The new king of the racetrack's Grim Reaper had been defeated. The WZ team had lost the competition for the first time. The racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, had retired temporarily due to her injuries. It had to be said that the die-hard fans who were invited to the private banquet were indeed very tight-lipped. They did not leak any information to the outside world. When Pei Yutong and ZH1 had told her about this, they had asked her to promise that she wouldn't reveal anything to the public. Actually, Lin Yan couldn't wait to spread this news. She wanted all the media to know that Yeva had come to the country. Then, the domestic racing industry would be hyped up because of Yeva's arrival. Yeva's identity as an impostor would definitely be exposed. Chapter 461. However, Lin Yan decided against it. She didn't want Yeva's name to appear in the public eye. If they found out that she had been banned for using illegal drugs, she would be the one who would embarrass herself. Besides, there was no need to mobilize so many people just to deal with an impostor. Actually, Lin Yan was most afraid that the impostor would come prepared. If the media were to be alerted, the impostor would be able to make money quickly and leave. If that happened, the impostor's identity might not even be exposed. That night, Lin Yan texted Mo Shuyun and Yun Xian before taking a cab to the He family's mansion. Yun Xian was already on the way, but he might be a few minutes late due to the traffic. Mo Shuyun had just left his house as well. Yun Xian had been feeling unwell, so he had gone to the hospital. Mo Shuyun, on the other hand, had no sense of time at all. They had agreed to meet at the He family's mansion at 6, but Mo Shuyun had left at exactly that time. When they arrived, Wei Shufeng opened the door for Lin Yan. Lin Yan realized that all the members of the He family team were there, including He Xiong and He Mingkai. Xiaoyan, you're here. The old master, He Dingkuan, strode out and glanced at Lin Yan. Grandfather. Lin Yan nodded and sat down. Why? I heard that you found a captain for the He family team. Lin Yan had just sat down when He Xiong glanced at her and spoke sarcastically. Where is he? Let's see what kind of monster he is. He Xiong pressed on when Lin Yan remained silent. Haha. Qing Li sneered coldly. Miss Lin Yan, as long as you don't harm the He family team, we will survive. We don't need a captain. Mingkai is more than capable enough. Lin Yan had just sat down when Yun Xian texted her. Sister, I'm here. I'm outside. Can you open the door for me? Lin Yan stood up and opened the door. Everyone's gaze turned towards the door and saw a young and handsome boy dressed in casual clothes standing quietly at the door. If he didn't speak and the sky was dark, he would have been mistaken for a quiet girl. Sister, Yun Xian greeted Lin Yan softly. Yun Xian, come in. Lin Yan grinned at him. Yun Xian nodded, took off his shoes, and carefully walked into the He family mansion. Miss Lin Yan. Are you trying to tell us that this boy is the captain you found for the He family team? Qing Li sneered coldly when he saw Yun Xian enter the room. After Qing Li's words left his mouth, the He family members all began to laugh mockingly. As they looked at the silent Yun Xian, the disdain and ridicule in their eyes were not concealed at all. They wouldn't even agree to let a young, autistic boy like him be their assistant or a substitute member, let alone their captain. Yun Xian had assumed that only a few people would be attending the banquet. However, to his surprise, the He family mansion was filled with dozens of people dressed in the He family team's uniforms. Yun Xian stood at the side almost instinctively, not saying a word. Update is over. Looking for monthly votes and recommendation votes. The winner's list of 50 canvas bags will be announced at the end of the month. Chapter 462. Do you know how to race? No, do you know how to drive? Qing Li's eyes trailed to Yun Xian as he sneered coldly. Yes. Yun Xian replied after a moment. Lin Yan, what kind of joke is this? How could you make a random person the captain of the He family team? He Xiong glared at Lin Yan and hissed coldly, Lin Yan, let me tell you. You can't even be a substitute, let alone a captain. A person with such a personality isn't suitable to race. Also, you better stay away from the He family team. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because the old master dotes on you. Do you want to destroy the He family team? Dream on. Dad, why are you wasting your breath on such a person? If I were you, I would have thrown them out. He Mingkai smirked. He Lufeng stared at Lin Yan, as though he wanted to say something. However, he didn't know what to say. Miss Lin Yan, how could such a person join the He family team and be the captain? One of the navigators glanced at Lin Yan. I'm afraid you must have drunk too much. Shut up. Old Master He Dingkuan frowned with displeasure on his face. Old Master, it's not that we don't want to say anything, but your granddaughter doesn't know anything. She brought along an unknown person, yet she wants him to join the He family team. Isn't that a joke? Qing Li quipped. Before the old man could say anything, someone knocked on the door again. Lin Yan shot He Lufeng a look, and he stepped forward to open the door. Mo Shuyun was standing at the door with a smile on his face. He ignored He Lufeng and strode into the mansion. Idle, I'm here. Mo Shuyun grinned at Lin Yen. Lin Yen grinned back at him. Have a seat. Okay. Mo Shuyun placed the gifts he had bought aside and scanned the crowd solemnly. It seems like everyone here is a member of the He family team. Let me introduce myself. Forget it. Forget it, the past isn't important. From now on, I will be the captain of the He family team. You can call me Captain Mo, or Captain Shu, or Captain Yun. Before anyone could say anything, Mo Shuyun shook his head and said seriously, forget it, Captain Shuyun isn't good. It's inauspicious. Just call me Captain Mo. All the members of the He family team roared with laughter at Mo Shuyun's words. Who are you? Is there something wrong with your brain? Why are you still calling yourself Captain Mo? Lin Yen, you're hilarious. First, you found a little boy. In the end, you found an idiot. What kind of grudge do you have against the He family team? Mo Shuyun furrowed his brows. Not only was he the captain of the He family team, but he was also a shareholder. Who the hell would talk to a shareholder like that? He was only one contract away from becoming a shareholder. What kind of respect was that? You, and you, and you. That's right, all of you are fired. Mo Shuyun sneered as he pointed at Qingli and the others. Mo Shuyun's words caused everyone to roar with laughter. Ha ha ha. What did this fool say? I'm fired? Me too. I'm fired too. I'm laughing so hard that I'm in tears. Chapter 463. Lin Yen glanced at Mo Shuyun. Captain Mo, this is my grandfather. He is also the boss of the He family team. Mo Shuyun nodded and glanced at He Dinkuan. Hello, old master. My name is Mo Shuyun. I used to be the captain of fire. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. He Dinkuan greeted Mo Shuyun softly. However, Yun Xian's expression changed slightly. He finally raised his head and looked at Mo Shuyun. It's really you. The former ace of Team Fire. I've seen your race. You're amazing. Fire? Ha ha ha. What are you talking about? I'm the captain of ZH1. We all know the captain of fire. His name isn't Mo Shuyun and he doesn't look like you. Miss Lin is indeed an actress. How could she find such an actor to act with us? Fire had a long history and was the first racing team in the country. Hence, the He family team naturally knew about Fire. Are you talking about the current captain? He is my apprentice. I was indeed Fire's captain a few years ago. Mo Shuyun's eyes flickered with an indescribable emotion when he mentioned Fire's current captain. There was also a hint of resentment in his eyes. What? You were the one who groomed Fire's captain? Yes, I admire you. Actually, I have a secret. I groomed Lang Mang. No one else knows about it. You guys are amazing, but I can't. I only groomed the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Yeva. Qingli grinned mockingly at him. Mo Shuyun shrugged nonchalantly. He couldn't be bothered to argue with the He family team. Instead, he took out his resume and handed it to the old master. Old master, how about this? Let's go to the venue and test my skills. Due to certain reasons, I haven't had many opportunities to compete in the past few years. Hence, I have to rely on my abilities. I'll race alone against all the members of the He family team. If anyone can finish the first lap, I'll leave immediately. If not, all the pests of the He family team will have to scram. Mo Shuyun grinned. Two of the He family team members had specially searched for information online. They glanced at the photo on their phones before glancing at the man in front of them. According to the information they found, he was indeed the former captain of fire. However, he looked very handsome and energetic. However, the man in front of them only had a slight resemblance to the man in the photo. Furthermore, the name of the former captain of fire in the photo was Ryan, not Mo Shuyun. "I don't think he's alone," one of the racers whispered to Qingli. Qingli took the phone and studied it carefully. Then, he replied coldly, "They do look alike, but it's obvious that they aren't the same person. Besides, didn't the higher-ups say that Ryan isn't Mo Shuyun? Besides, do you really think that Lin Yan could find the ex-captain of fire and join the He family team? Use your ass to think, is it realistic?" Qingli was right. They had been worrying too much. Any normal person with a brain would not leave a well-known big team to join a small team that could be disbanded at any time, let alone the captain of a big team. "Old master, what do you think?" Mo Shuyun glanced at He Dinkuan with a smile. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 464. Alright, sure. He Dinkuan contemplated for a moment before he nodded in agreement. Actually, the old master had his suspicions about Mo Shuyun's identity. Lin Yan had no reason to lie to him, but he was afraid that she had run into a scammer. He Dinkuan knew about fire, but he didn't know much about them. Regardless of this person's identity, he had to go to the venue to test the car. He had no reason to reject him. If you want to test the car, of course you can. If you lose, you have to crawl out of here. He Mingkai glanced at Lin Yan. You too. Crawl out with him. Don't let me see you again. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up. Sure. If the He family team wanted to humiliate themselves, she wouldn't mind. Mo Shuyun had indeed been the former captain of fire. He had been nicknamed the Little King, Ryan, and he had been an awe-inspiring racer. However, at that time, the domestic racing industry hadn't been that popular. Furthermore, Mo Shuyun had left fire for 2 years due to some personal matters. Not long after he had returned, he had been left on the bench and rarely had a chance to compete. Lin Yan had no idea why that had happened. Regardless, Lin Yan was certain that Mo Shuyun could beat all the members of the He family team with his eyes closed. I think, suddenly, Yun Xian, who was standing beside Lin Yan, said softly, "I can, go and try too, let's go together." Lin Yan grinned. Okay. Yun Xian nodded happily. At the mention of racing, Yun Xian's cells seemed to come alive. His eyes glowed with excitement. 15 minutes later, they arrived at the He family team's rented venue. The He family team's cars were parked there. At that moment, the sky was a little dark, but for professional racers, they could easily drive in any kind of weather. Captain. I can replace you, and beat them. Suddenly, Yun Xian's eyes landed on Mo Shuyun as he muttered softly, Last night. I watched a lot of He family team's competition videos. They are too weak. What nonsense are you spouting? One of the racers was enraged by Yun Xian's words. He swung his fist at Yun Xian. However, before his fist could land, Lin Yan, who was standing next to him, intercepted it. Lin Yan was extraordinarily strong. No matter how hard the racer tried, he couldn't free his fist from Lin Yan's grip. Watch your mouth. Lin Yan's eyes gleamed coldly as she hissed at the racer. Then, she released her grip. Damn it, this woman looked so weak, but how could she be so strong? Humph, finding 2 pieces of trash to pretend to be experts. Let's see how you'll die. The driver grunted and rubbed his aching knuckles. Without looking back, he opened the door and entered. Don't worry. Mo Shuyun's gaze landed on Yun Xian as he smiled and said, after they scram, I'll personally test you. If you're not strong enough, you'll have to scram like them. So, be prepared. All right. Yun Xian nodded with a serious expression. Chapter 465. Naturally, Mo Shuyun didn't have a car of his own, so he picked one at random. Are you guys ready for your last race with the He family team? Mo Shuyun opened the driver's door and stepped inside. He didn't forget to glance at the racer as he spoke. The He family team members sneered coldly at Mo Shuyun's words. No one was more familiar with the He family team's training ground than they were. Even if this man was a professional racer from Fire, he wouldn't be able to beat them in the He family team's training ground. Mo Shuyun, who was bored by the fact that no one was paying attention to him, entered his car. Soon, more than a dozen cars roared to life. He Minkai's car was the first to leave the starting point. Mo Shuyun followed closely behind him. In just a few seconds, all the He family cars had left the starting point. Although He Minkai's car was extremely fast, it did not take long for Mo Shuyun to overtake it under the watchful eyes of the crowd. Mo Shuyun drove his car in front of He Lifeng's car and slowed down. He seemed to be waiting for He Minkai. However, just as He Lifeng was about to overtake Mo Shuyun's car sped up and sped up. He had fooled He Minkai and sped away. He Xiong's face darkened when he saw this. No matter how stupid the He family team was, they realized that the man Lin Yan had brought was indeed an expert. However, He Xiong and the others couldn't figure out why this man, who was so good at racing, would be willing to join a low-level team like the He family team. If any of them had been as good as him, they wouldn't have been tempted, no matter how much money the He family team offered. Joining a low-level team like the He family team would be akin to burning one's career. It would be a joke to risk one's youth and future. Be it in terms of future, rewards, or glory, a low-level team couldn't even be compared to a mid-level team, let alone a famous team. Xiaoyan, He Dingkuan strode over to Lin Yan, his eyes filled with shock. Mo Shuyun. Was he really a professional racer in Fire? He was even the captain. Lin Yan nodded and replied, "Grandfather, this is what happened." After confirming with Lin Yan, He Dingkuan was still in disbelief. Logically speaking, it was impossible for a professional racer from Fire, who used to be the captain of the team, to suddenly join the He family team and become the captain of the He family team. For example, if the richest man in the world didn't want to live a good life and insisted on becoming a beggar, he would rather suffer the disdain of others and beg for a living. Therefore, this matter in itself was an unreasonable thing. However, the truth was right before their eyes. Regardless of whether Mo Shuyun was a professional racer for Fear or not, his control over the track during the race was simply too terrifying. This was the He family team's training ground, so the track was extremely complicated. The He family team had been training there for a long time, so they were already used to it. They knew every corner of the track like the back of their hands. Even so, Mo Shuyun's car had already left the He family team far behind. Update is over. Begging for monthly votes. Begging for tickets. Chapter 466. Therefore, it no longer mattered whether or not Mo Shuyun was a professional racer in the advanced racing team, nor had he ever been a captain. What mattered was that Mo Shuyun was indeed an expert. A team like the He family team couldn't be compared to him. Good. Very good, Old Master He Dingkuan's eyes gleamed with excitement. If such an expert joined the He family team, the He family team would have boundless hope. They might even be able to get rid of their title as a junior team. Oh yeah. Suddenly, the Old Master's eyes landed on Yun Xian, who was standing beside Lin Yan. He Dingkuan's interest in this boy was piqued. Yun Xian didn't look very old, so he should have graduated from school not too long ago. "Hi, boss." Yun Xian glanced at He Dinkuan and greeted him shyly. Lin Yan had introduced him to the old man. He was the boss of the He family team. "Hi, you're Yun Xian, right?" He Dinkuan smiled at him. "Yeah." Yun Xian nodded. Lin Yan told He Dinkuan about Yun Xian. He Dinkuan wasn't surprised. Actually, most racing enthusiasts would choose to join a famous team after they decided to pursue a career. Very few of them would choose to join a small team. However, He Dinkuan wasn't sure how good Yun Xian was. Although Yun Xian had achieved some outstanding results during his student days, that didn't mean that he could become a professional racer. Before He Dinkuan could say anything else, a loud explosion rang out. He Dinkuan and the others turned to see that Mo Shuyun had returned to the starting point and completed the second lap. The He family team, including He Mingkai, had been left far behind. Mo Shuyun opened the door and stepped out of the car. He removed his helmet and glanced at He Dinkuan. "Old master, we should replace our team members a long time ago. They are all hooligans. None of them are useful." If Mo Shuyun had said this earlier, he would have been mocked and ridiculed. However, no one dared to retort now. Speed was everything to a racer. In the racing industry, the strong always had the right to speak. With Mo Shuyun's skills, it was unthinkable for him to join a team like theirs. Never in their wildest dreams would they have thought that this person was actually the captain of Team Fire. To be precise, they hadn't expected that Lin Yan would be able to recruit the captain of Fire. After running for a long time, He Mingkai and the others finally reached the finish line. Their faces were covered in dirt, and they looked like defeated roosters. At this moment, they could no longer make sarcastic remarks. Lin Yan grinned at them. "So, can we talk about reorganizing the team now?" He Mingkai and He Xiong stood there with dark faces, not saying a word. Everyone else was also silent. The old man said, "Xiaoyan, it's getting late. Tomorrow, let's arrange a time with Captain Mo and our young friend Yun Xian to talk in detail." Now that she had proven Mo Shuyun's capability, it meant that Lin Yan had found a reliable teammate. Hence, she wasn't in a hurry to test Yun Xian. Lin Yan glanced at Mo Shuyun and Yun Xian. Mo Shuyun shrugged. "Sure, I'm fine with anything. My idol has the final say." Although Yun Xian was disappointed that he wouldn't be able to race today, he nodded obediently. "I'm fine with anything too." He hadn't expected that Lin Yan would be able to recruit the former captain of Team Fire. No wonder she had been so confident that she would be able to learn something here. Lin Yan replied, "All right, it's settled then. Grandfather, let's talk another day." Chapter 467. It was late at night by the time Lin Yan returned to the villa. Worried that she might wake Pei Yucheng up, Lin Yan pushed the door open softly. She changed into slippers and walked out of the room. She saw a dim lamp in the living room. Under the gentle light, Pei Yucheng was leaning against the backrest. The man had removed his glasses and placed them on a pile of documents. His eyes were half closed, as though he had fallen asleep. Lin Yan hadn't expected Pei Yucheng to be in the living room at this hour. Instinctively, she breathed more softly. Why wasn't Pei Yucheng asleep? If he was working, why didn't he go to the study? Pei Yucheng didn't seem to be in a deep sleep. The moment Lin Yan approached him, he opened his eyes slowly. The man looked a little dazed. When his eyes landed on Lin Yan, he gradually regained his focus. He picked up his glasses and put them on. "You're back." Lin Yan nodded. "I had to discuss something with grandfather today, so I came back late. Did I disturb you?" Ever since Lin Yan had said that he was in her heart, Pei Yucheng hadn't objected to her addressing him as sir. Pei Yucheng pinched his eyebrows and stood up. "Are you hungry? I saved some food for you." Lin Yan's heart skipped a beat as she swallowed her saliva. Thank you, Mr. Pei, but it's okay. I've eaten tonight. Besides, you know that we have to maintain our figures, so we can't eat too much. Pei Yucheng didn't insist. Okay, rest early. Lin Yan nodded furiously. Okay. You too, Mr. Pei. Lin Yan asked casually, Mr. Pei, were you working earlier? Yeah. Why? Asked Pei Yucheng. Lin Yan scratched her head. Nothing. I just found it strange. Are you used to working in the living room? Besides, it's already so late. Why didn't you go to the study? Sitting in the study would be more comfortable than sitting on the sofa, right? She remembered that this wasn't the first time she had seen Pei Yucheng working on the sofa in the living room. It was already so late, yet he was still in the living room. Lin Yan couldn't help but feel puzzled. Pei Yucheng raised his eyebrows when he heard the girl. Miss Lin. You really don't know? Huh? Lin Yan blinked in confusion. Should I know? How did she know? She didn't understand his logic. Pei Yucheng noticed that the girl looked lost and confused. Helplessness flitted across his eyes as he gazed at the girl intently. Miss Lin, I'm waiting for you. I was waiting for you. Lin Yan blinked her eyes repeatedly. It took her a long time to comprehend what he meant. Did he mean that he was working in the living room because he was waiting for her to come home? Before Lin Yan could snap out of her daze, the man added, I'm working in the living room not because I'm used to it, but because I can see you more often. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yucheng's words couldn't be more direct. If Lin Yan still couldn't understand, she wouldn't be a straight girl. She would be retarded. When Pei Yucheng realized that the girl had finally understood him, a satisfied smile appeared on his face. Chapter 468. Miss Lin, do you understand what I'm saying? Pei Yucheng asked patiently. Lin Yan was so embarrassed that she wished she could find a hole to hide in. She nodded her head furiously. She got it. Stop mocking her EQ. Why was this man able to say such things without even blushing or having his heart skip a beat? He was indeed a boss. Pei Yucheng stopped abruptly and said, rest early. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief and replied hastily, okay. Pei Yucheng strode over to the girl and planted a gentle kiss on her forehead. Good night. Lin Yan replied, good night. Lin Yan stood rooted to the ground in a daze even after Pei Yucheng had entered the bedroom. During the time she had been staying with Pei Yucheng, other than the day when he had suddenly gone berserk, everything had been peaceful and harmonious. She had gradually realized that as long as she didn't cross Pei Yucheng's bottom line, he could be very patient and gentle. Usually, they would be busy with their own things and they would get along very well. However, after a few lessons, Lin Yan had a deep understanding of Pei Yucheng's dangerous side. Hence, she didn't dare to let her guard down just because they seemed harmonious on the surface. This was also the reason why she hadn't found a good time to agree to Xing Chen's request. Lin Yan's head throbbed as she went back to her room. Suddenly, her WeChat notification rang. She had been added to a group chat. The person who had added her was Xing Chen. She didn't use QQ often, so she had given her WeChat to Xing Chen. Of course, another reason was that she really didn't want to see Xing Chen's signature again. There was another person in the group chat. That person's ID was celebrating the new year joyfully. Misty City amid the setting sun typed, ? Lin Yan sent a question mark over. Celebrating the new year joyfully typed, sister-in-law. I'm Qin Huan. Sister-in-law, your WeChat ID is so nice. It's so classy. Lin Yan was speechless. This ID was also bloody tears. She didn't want to mention it. Xing Chen, Miss Lin, do you know the progress of that matter? Lin Yan sighed and replied, I haven't found a suitable opportunity yet. I really don't know how to cheer Mr. Pei up, Xing Chen, I understand. It's okay. I can wait. I've waited for so long anyway. Celebrate the new year happily, sister-in-law. How could there not be a suitable opportunity? There were too many opportunities. For example, after you hold Brother Yu's hand. For example, after you kissed and hugged Brother Yu. For example, when you lie down with Brother Yu and watch the stars and the moon at night and discuss life philosophy. Lin Yan was speechless. That was enough. Lin Yan replied speechlessly, I won't have such a chance. Thank you. Her interaction with Pei Yucheng had always been courteous and respectful. At most, they would kiss each other on the forehead every morning and night. On the other end of the phone, Qin Huan sent a voice message. No way, sister-in-law. Your progress is too slow. What era are you people from? You've been dating for so long, yet you're still moving at such a snail's pace? If you really don't know how to do it, we can teach you. Lin Yan replied decisively, who said that I don't know how to do it? It's not like I haven't dated before. I'm experienced, all right? Chapter 469. Lin Yan chatted with them angrily for a while before she put down her phone and fell into deep thought. Was she really that bad at dating? That couldn't be. Lin Yan turned on her laptop and typed. What should I do in a relationship? How can I make my boyfriend happy? How can I make him agree to my request? There were all sorts of answers online, and Lin Yan's head was spinning. She wanted to eat ice cream together, drink with 2 straws, put her hand in his pocket in winter, use a couple's profile picture, wear couple's clothes, take a walk together after dinner, ride the merry-go-round at the amusement park, shave his beard, take him out for spicy soup, and attend a concert together. Damn it, it was just a relationship. Why did she have to do so many things? What was the point of doing these boring things together? They might as well go for a race. This guy didn't make sense at all. Lin Yan sighed as she read on. Life was really unpredictable. A few months ago, she had been searching for ways to break up with her boyfriend. Now, she was searching for ways to fall in love with her boyfriend. Lin Yan's stomach growled as she read on. It had been a long time since dinner, and her body was drained. She was famished, but she wouldn't dare eat the food that Pei Yucheng had left for her. Fortunately, she had a lot of snacks. Lin Yan took out some chocolates, candies, crispy noodles, and spicy snacks from the drawer. As she ate, she took out a notebook to jot down her findings. His earnestness was comparable to when she had been cramming for her acting lessons back then. It was almost midnight when Lin Yan put down her pen and got ready to go to bed. Lin Yan took a shower and changed into a set of clean pajamas. Then, she sat down at her desk to sort out her homework for the day before going to bed. She was sorting out her notebook when she suddenly felt a little dizzy. It was as though a strange force had penetrated the wall and was attacking her. What was going on? Was she too tired? Was she so tired that she felt dizzy? No, that's not right. This feeling is a little overwhelming, and it's extremely familiar. Oh no! It was, that pervert. Lin Yan clutched her head and hurriedly reached for the peachwood sword. However, before she could move, her vision turned black, and she lost consciousness. When Lin Yan opened her eyes again, they were clear and bright. She didn't look tired at all. That pair of cold eyes seemed to be devoid of any human emotions. A few minutes ago, Pei Yucheng had been leaning against the headboard, ready to fall asleep. Of course, sleep did not go so smoothly. No matter how calm he appeared, he couldn't lie to himself. Just like now, his consciousness had finally broken through his shackles and entered Lin Yan's body once again. Pei Yucheng was used to this, so he remained calm this time. However, in the very next moment, his gaze turned completely chaotic. Chapter 470. No matter how composed Pei Yucheng was, he hadn't expected to encounter such a scene when his consciousness had transmigrated. Pei Yucheng cursed under his breath as he grabbed a coat from the rack and put it on. He covered Lin Yan's body tightly. Only after doing all this did his breathing return to normal. However, the girl's face was rosy and her hair was slightly damp. She had just showered, so he could see her in the mirror. Pei Yucheng flipped the mirror upside down. If this were to continue, he would probably do something shameful to himself. Out of habit, Pei Yucheng instinctively wanted to smoke. However, he remembered that he was in Lin Yan's body, so he gave up. He glanced at the colorful bags of snacks on the table and instinctively reached out to pick up a piece of chocolate. Pei Yucheng recalled the girl saying that she wasn't hungry after eating. Hadn't she said that she wasn't hungry? However, girls seem to like snacks. Was it really that delicious? He had been born without a sense of taste, so he had never understood the passion humans had for food. Pei Yucheng opened the bag of chocolate casually and tore off a small piece before putting it into his mouth. When the sweet chocolate melted in his mouth, Pei Yucheng froze in a daze. It had just been a casual action, but he had never imagined that he would have a taste for the first time. Because he didn't have a sense of taste, everything tasted like wax to him. However, he was experiencing something that he had never experienced before through Lin Yan's body. He had almost forgotten that he was using Lin Yan's body. This was an unexpected gain, so this was the taste of sweetness? Indeed, it tasted the same as hers. He tried all the snacks that Lin Yan had placed on the table with the intention of researching them. Pei Yucheng's eyes scanned the room and landed on Lin Yan's laptop and computer screen. Pei Yucheng glanced at Lin Yan's search history. What should one do when they were in a relationship? How should one make their boyfriend happy? How should one make her boyfriend agree to her request? Pei Yucheng raised an eyebrow, as though he was surprised. He had thought that she would search for how to break up with her boyfriend. He hadn't expected that she would study these questions. Pei Yucheng naturally knew that there had to be a reason for Lin Yan's abnormal behavior. However, this wasn't important to him. He liked the result. Then, he noticed that Lin Yan had opened her notebook. She had listed 100 things that she should do with her boyfriend when she was in a relationship. Sharing an ice cream, drinking a drink with 2 straws, winter putting her hand in his pocket, using a couple's head. If Lin Yan had been sober, she would have been stunned by her own beauty. How could she smile with such elegance, such beauty, and such an A? Lin Yan's notebook was filled with scribbles. She had even written comments in the margins. This is too boring. Who would be so bored as to run over to do such senseless things? What the hell is using 2 straws to drink the same beverage? Could it be some kind of magical ritual? Are people in love all so weird? What was the point? Simply speechless. I don't understand at all. Pei Yucheng couldn't help but chuckle as he tapped his fingers on the list of topics in love. It's okay if you don't understand. I'll teach you next time. Chapter 471. It's okay if you don't understand. I'll teach you next time, Pei Yucheng muttered softly. He picked up the girl's phone and used her fingerprint to unlock it. Then, he used Lin Yan's phone to send himself a message. Mr. Pei, are you free this weekend? I really want to go on a date with you. The next morning, when Lin Yan woke up, she realized that she was lying on the bed. She had just woken up, so she was still in a daze. When she recalled what had happened last night, she sat up abruptly. Oh no! Her illness had acted up again last night. She couldn't have done something weird again, right? Lin Yan scrambled to her feet in a panic. She scanned the room anxiously to see if she could find any clues. Everything in the room was the same as it had been, except, where were all the snacks on the table? All that was left was a pile of plastic bags, Lin Yen stared at the snacks on the table in shock. She hadn't eaten much last night. How had she finished them all? Damn it, did she eat all of this into her stomach? F***ck. She was going to die of obesity. What was going on? Had she become a glutton instead of causing trouble this time? Lin Yen checked again and realized that all the snacks had been eaten. Pei Yucheng and Pei Nanxiu wouldn't enter her room casually, let alone sneak in to eat her snacks. Hence, there was only one possibility. She must have eaten the snacks. Lin Yen broke down at the thought of having to work hard to get rid of these calories. Oh yeah, Pei Yucheng, more importantly, had she done anything to Pei Yucheng? Lin Yen snuck out of the room to check on the situation. She had just walked out of the room when she heard a squeak. The door to the room next door had been pushed open. Pei Yucheng had walked out of the room. Hi, Mr. Pei. Good morning. Lin Yen, who had been peeking her head out of the room, hastily straightened her body and greeted him calmly. Good morning, Miss Lin. Pei Yucheng smiled. Lin Yen scrutinized Pei Yucheng's expression and didn't think anything was amiss. Nothing had happened, right? Lin Yen deliberated for a moment before she asked cautiously, Mr. Pei. Did anything special happen last night? Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl calmly. What do you mean, Miss Lin? Lin Yen scratched her head. Don't worry. It's nothing. I'm just asking, casually asking. Did I do anything strange last night? No, replied Pei Yucheng. Lin Yen heaved a sigh of relief when he added, except. Except for what? Lin Yan's expression tightened. Pei Yucheng asked, Miss Lin, have you forgotten? Lin Yen was startled. Remember what? He replied, Miss Lin sent me a text in the middle of the night. Huh? Lin Yan's head throbbed as she whipped out her phone. F***ck. She knew it. She knew she was going to cause trouble. What did she send him in the middle of the night? Lin Yen clicked on the message page frantically. Indeed, she had sent Pei Yucheng a message last night. The text was, Mr. Pei, are you free this weekend? I want to go on a date with you. Lin Yen was speechless. Oh. Vice Captain? Mo Shuyun glanced at Lin Yen and asked, Idol, what is your relationship with this gangster of the He family team? Chapter 473. Relationship? Lin Yen mulled it over before replying, I don't think so. Who are you calling a hooligan? He Xiong's expression darkened as he Minkai shot to his feet and glared at Mo Shuyun. Sorry, I made a mistake. Mo Shuyun grinned at He Minkai. You're not a hooligan. You can't even be considered a hooligan in the He family team. A hooligan might not be of much use, but at least he won't be a burden. You and the others who raced with me last night will be a burden to the He family team. Dad, this man is too arrogant and rude. How can we allow such a person to become the captain of the He family team? He Xiong glanced at He Dinkuan and hissed coldly. Grandpa, Dad is right. So what if he is capable? If he joins the He family team, the He family team will fall apart. He Minkai chimed in eagerly. Before He Dinkuan could respond, Lin Yen interjected, the He family will collapse because of your presence. He Minkai and He Xiong were infuriated by Lin Yan's words. He Xiong bellowed, you have no right to speak here. She has no right to speak here. Do you think you have the right to speak? Mo Shuyun sneered at He Xiong. Before He Xiong could respond, Mo Shuyun added, who do you think you are? You haven't even joined the He family team yet. Even if you did, you would still be under my jurisdiction. Mo Shuyun glared at He Xiong as though he was an idiot. Are you talking to a shareholder of the He family? A shareholder of the He family? He Xiong and He Dingkuan were taken aback by Mo Shuyun's words. Do you want to invest? He Dingkuan glanced at Mo Shuyun. Mo Shuyun grinned at He Dingkuan. Old master, your granddaughter and I have already discussed this. Besides being the captain of the He family team, I will also invest in the He family. I don't want too many shares. 20% will do. Lin Yan glanced at Mo Shuyun. Hadn't they agreed on 10%? Why was it 20% now? I will be the captain of the He family team and won't need a single cent. I will also be in charge of managing the track and the members of the team. I will also invest in the team, replied Mo Shuyun. Old Master He Dingkuan's eyes roamed over to Lin Yan, looking astonished and incredulous. Even if Mo Shuyun hadn't been aware of the He family situation at the beginning, he would have been able to investigate it easily if he had been more careful. Currently, the He family team was on the verge of disbanding, and the pressure from the outside world was immense. Furthermore, the scandal of rigging was imminent. If that happened, the He family team might not be able to survive. Mo Shuyun, a capable racer and former captain of a famous team, had joined the He family team and even planned to invest in it? To He Dingkuan, this was unimaginable. Grandfather, Shuyun and I made a deal. Lin Yan explained to He Dingkuan. The He family team doesn't seem to be doing well. Are you really going to invest? And you want 20%? He Dingkuan glanced at Mo Shuyun in astonishment. Old master, you don't have to worry about this for me. Investing is my own business. If I make a profit, everyone will be happy. If I make a loss, I won't have any regrets. I only invested 20% of the shares because I like the potential of the He family team. For a better reading experience, please browse to the website for a better reading experience. Chapter 474. Mo Shuyun paused before he added, Of course, old master, you're the boss of the He family team. Whether I can invest or not depends on you. Old master, please give me a clear answer. Can I invest or not? Of course. He Dingkuan replied hastily. Shuyun, based on your abilities and connections, as well as my years of experience and connections, I believe that we will be a strong team. Mo Shuyun grinned. This old man didn't forget to compliment him as well. All right, old master. It's settled then. I will invest 20% of the He family team's shares. In the future, I can consider investing more. Perhaps I can bring my friends along with me. However, I have one condition. I can't use these people anymore. You should be aware of the He family team's situation. Mo Shuyun replied. What did you say? He Xiong glared at Mo Shuyun and gritted his teeth. Haha. Mo Shuyun glanced at He Xiong and chuckled softly. I've heard about you from Miss Lin Yan. All these years, your son has been the captain of the He family team, while you've been the manager. However, the facts have proven that you and your son aren't suited for this job. I'm a straightforward person, so I hope you can understand that I don't have any ill intentions when I say that you're parasites of the He family team. He Dingkuan's expression darkened. No matter what, He Xiong was his son, and He Mingkai was his grandson. However, the problem that Mo Shuyun had pointed out was real. He Mingkai's driving skills could only qualify him as an ordinary member of a beginner team at best. He Xiong, on the other hand, had been appointed to manage the He family team because he was his son. Grandfather, since Mo Shuyun has invested in the team, let him be the team's captain and manager. After all, he has been the captain of a big team before. He is experienced in management, Lin Yan chimed in. Lin Yan. Suddenly, He Mingkai glared at Lin Yan. You're an ingrate. You brought people to harm us. Are you trying to destroy the He family team? Bastard, I knew you didn't have any good intentions. He Xiong also said angrily. Mo Shuyun shrugged nonchalantly. If you say that, I don't mind not being the captain or investing in the team. I don't want to hurt the He family team. Shut up. He Dingkuan frowned when he saw that He Xiong and He Mingkai were about to say something. How could Lin Yan possibly want to harm the He family team? They had poached the captain of a big team, and the captain would join the He family team for free. Not only would he not be paid, but he would also be able to invest in the team. This was a joyous occasion for the He family team. He Dingkuan knew the truth better than anyone else. He Xiong and He Mingkai were behaving this way because Mo Shuju's sudden entry had threatened their status. Naturally, they didn't want Mo Shuju to join the He family team. He Dingkuan knew better than anyone who was truly selfish. Mingkai, you will listen to Mo Shuyun from now on. He Xiong, you will be in charge of the logistics. He Dingkuan said expressionlessly. Dad, grandfather. Didn't I make myself clear? He Dingkuan slammed his walking stick against the ground. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 475. He Mingkai and He Xiong knew that the old master was about to lose his temper, so they didn't dare show it. You're He Mingkai, right? As the old master's grandson, I can allow you to stay with the He family team. However, my training will be very strict and tough. If you can't meet the standards or drag the He family team down, I'm sorry, but I don't care who you are or what your status is. You have to pack your things and scram. I'm very direct and I don't have any ill intentions. You won't blame me, right? Mo Shuyun grinned at him. After hearing Mo Shuyun's words, He Mingkai said coldly, You want to train me? If it weren't for the old master and Miss Lin Yan, I wouldn't have trained a good-for-nothing like you. Mo Shuyun grinned. Who are you calling a good-for-nothing? He Xiong's forehead throbbed with rage. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a good-for-nothing. I'm just an arrogant person who doesn't know his place. Mo Shuyun corrected himself. Brother Kai, Captain Mo is more than qualified to train us. If it weren't for Sister Yen and Grandfather, I don't think Captain Mo would be willing to teach us even if we offered a huge sum of money. He Lufeng glanced at He Mingkai with a frown. Look at him. Look at him. He's so sensible and eloquent. They both share the same surname. Why is there such a huge gap between us? Mo Shuyun eyed He Lufeng intently. Your father must have taught you well. He Xiong glared at Mo Shuyun. He had said that He Lufeng's father had taught He Lufeng well. Did he mean that He Mingkai hadn't been taught well? Old master, I'm a straightforward person, but I don't have any ill intentions. I'm doing this for the good of the He family team. Hence, I don't care about family ties. Old master, I believe you can understand me. Mo Shuyun glanced at He Dingkuan. He Dingkuan nodded and replied, I understand. It's fine. Actually, you're right. The He family team should follow the rules. Nothing can be accomplished without them. I believe you've heard what the old man said. He Mingkai and He Xiong, you two can go back to work. I'll look for you if there's anything I need from the team. It's not appropriate for you to stay here, Mo Shuyun said. A high-level discussion? What high-level discussion? He Xiong said coldly. You can leave now, He Dingkuan said before Mo Shuyun could respond. Since He Dingkuan had spoken, He Mingkai and He Xiong couldn't say anything else, so they left sullenly. After He Xiong and his son left, He Dingkuan prepared an investment contract. Mo Shuyun didn't say anything and signed his name on the contract. As for the trivial matters after the investment, he wasn't in a hurry to deal with them. My idol, old master, let Yunxian and Lufeng test drive the car, Mo Shuyun said after a while. The old master was well aware of He Lufeng's capabilities. However, He Dingkuan wasn't confident about Yunxian. The boy that Lin Yan had brought home was quiet and refined. His personality didn't seem suitable for driving fast. Of course, Yunxian's driving skills had to be tested on the track first. Test the car now, asked He Lufeng. What else? Next year, quipped Mo Shuyun. He Lufeng was speechless. Chapter 476. Captain, I'm fine with it. I can do it any time. He Lufeng nodded. I'm fine with it too, Yunxian chimed in softly. Lin Yan glanced at Yunxian, who had been standing next to her. If Mo Shuyun hadn't mentioned him, he would have forgotten about Yunxian's existence. This boy didn't have much of a presence. If it hadn't been for his unique aura and outstanding looks, he wouldn't have stood out in the crowd. Alright, let's go and try. I want to see how good brother Yunxian is. He Dingkuan grinned. Yunxian seemed a little nervous when he heard He Dingkuan. Lin Yan patted Yunxian's shoulder gently to calm him down. Mo Shuyun drove them to the He family's training ground in the suburbs. When they arrived, Mo Shuyun said, "You guys can pick your own car and get ready. Let me know when you're ready." Captain Mo, are you going to run? Asked He Lufeng. Why would I run? I'll watch you guys run. Mo Shuyun sighed heavily. He didn't think this kid was smart. Alright, Captain. I'll do my best. He Lufeng turned around to get ready. Good attitude. Mo Shuyun nodded at He Lufeng after he left. He Mingkai was the scariest. He didn't have any skills, but he was arrogant and didn't know his own limits. If this kind of person didn't know his limits, he wouldn't be able to improve his driving skills much in this lifetime. On the other hand, although He Lufeng's driving skills were terrible, he had the right attitude and knew his place. Hence, he had a lot of room for improvement. Yunxian, aren't you going to pick a car? Lin Yan asked curiously when she noticed Yunxian standing beside her. Sister. Yunxian gazed at Lin Yan and said softly, when we came here that night, I observed all the cars. Other than He Mingkai's car, the rest are all the same. So. I'm fine with anything. Lin Yan nodded. She hadn't expected Yunxian to be so meticulous. He had memorized every detail on the first night he had arrived at the He family team's training ground. After about a quarter of an hour, Yunxian and He Lufeng were ready. He Lufeng was using He Mingkai's car, while Yunxian was using a random car. Ready? He Dingkuan asked. Grandpa, okay. He Lufeng said. Anytime, Yunxian said. Hold on. Lin Yan strode forward and opened the door to Yunxian's car. I'll follow the car, replied Lin Yan. Sister. You will puke if I drive too fast. Yunxian reminded Lin Yan. Lin Yan was speechless. She wouldn't throw up even if she were to drive a rocket, a submarine, or a tractor, let alone a race car. I'm fine, replied Lin Yan. Then. Big sister, can I drive a little slower? Yunxian continued. Don't. Lin Yan shook her head furiously. Give it your all and drive as fast as you normally would. Don't deliberately slow down, but don't force yourself to go too fast either. I want you to be at your usual speed. Do you understand? Okay. Big sister, I understand, Yunxian answered obediently. Sister Yan, you can't do this. As Lin Yan got into Yunxian's car, He Lufeng couldn't stand it any longer. He rolled down the window and hissed, Sister Yan, if you want to get in, you should get in my car. You're my brother, all right? Why are you so biased? No way. How can I compete with him if you get in Yun Xian's car? Hurry up and come over. Didn't we have a good time working together? Chapter 477. Lin Yan was dumbfounded when she heard He Lifeng. Had she enjoyed working with him? She had been He Lifeng's navigator during the He family's life and death competition. She had almost fainted because of He Lifeng, but he had actually thought that it had been fun. Wasn't he the one who had been happy? I refuse. Lin Yan rejected him immediately. I know how good you are. Don't worry, I won't say a word in Yun Xian's car. I just want to see how Yun Xian is doing. You should focus on your own. He Lifeng looked as though his heart had been broken by Lin Yan's ruthless rejection. He mumbled something under his breath and wound up the window. Do you want to familiarize yourself with the car? Lin Yan glanced at Yun Xian. Yun Xian's eyes darted around furiously. After a few seconds, he replied, Sister, there's no need. I'm already familiar with it. When I was in school, I often rented this kind of car. All the best. Lin Yan nodded. He Lifeng and Yun Xian's car sped away at the same time as the old master waved the flag. Lin Yan's eyes darted to Yun Xian from time to time as the car sped away. Initially, Yun Xian didn't look any different. However, as time passed, Lin Yan realized that Yun Xian seemed different. There was a hint of madness in his eyes as he overtook He Lifeng's car. The corners of his mouth curled up into an arrogant smile. He's too weak. Yun Xian's lips curled up as he spoke casually. Whoosh! Not long after Yun Xian finished speaking, the car he was driving completed the first lap. He Lifeng was hot on his heels. He Lifeng's car was better than Yun Xian's. Logically speaking, he shouldn't be slower than Yun Xian. However, it was reasonable that He Lifeng couldn't catch up to Yun Xian. Yun Xian had been meticulous in every detail, be it the condition of the training track, the way he had handled the sharp bends, or the obstacles on the ground. If these details weren't handled well, the difference would be like heaven and earth. If he was slower by a few seconds, he wouldn't even be able to catch the exhaust. He Lifeng and Yun Xian had handled the track so well that He Lifeng wouldn't even be able to catch the exhaust from Yun Xian's car. After a few obstacles and bends, He Lifeng was at least 5 seconds slower than Yun Xian. These 5 seconds were like heaven and earth. Lin Yan studied Yun Xian carefully. The passion in Yun Xian's eyes was more obvious than before. He seemed to have entered a state of forgetfulness, and all he could see was the racetrack. Every time he tackled an obstacle or a curve, it was as though he had gone through thousands of training sessions. However, this was the first time Yun Xian was training on the He family team's training ground. Yun Xian gave Lin Yan the impression that he resembled one of her disciples, the racetrack butcher. He was similar to Yun Xian when he was driving and his driving style. The only difference was that his apprentice wasn't as quiet as Yun Xian. He wasn't obedient either. Other than his master, Yeva, he disliked everyone else and didn't respect anyone. He didn't even care about his apprentices. He was the most unpopular one among Lin Yan's apprentices. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 478. A moment later, the car that Yun Xian was driving stopped at the finish line. Lin Yan snapped out of her daze and glanced at Yun Xian. Why didn't you drive to the finish line? The passion and arrogance in Yun Xian's eyes had disappeared, and he had returned to his usual obedient self. He said hesitantly, Big sister, should I wait for Lifeng? I'm so much faster than him, isn't that bad? Lin Yan was speechless. What the F***ck? Her disciples had waited at the finish line to humiliate their opponents, while Yun Xian had waited for them at the finish line to take care of their opponents. There's no need. Lin Yan sighed helplessly. He is used to being humiliated. All right then. Finally, Yun Xian drove to the finish line after Lin Yan's persuasion. After about 3 minutes, Xiaofan caught up with them. Oh my god. Why? I didn't see any amazing techniques. Why are you so much faster than me? Could it be that my car's performance isn't as good as yours? Xiaofan stared at Yun Xian, who was chatting with Lin Yan, Dinkuan, and the others. He was stunned. Sorry, I don't know either. I just think that you're too slow. Yun Xian raised his head and explained softly to Xiaofan. Xiaofan wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Was he that slow? Actually, just as Xiaofan had said, Yun Xian hadn't shown any special techniques on the track. He had even taken the corners normally. However, because of his handling of the details, Yun Xian had been much faster than Xiaofan. It's normal that you're slower than him. Mo Shuyun's eyes trailed to Xiaofan. Your handling of the obstacles is worlds apart from Yun Xian's. You wouldn't be able to beat him even if there were 10 of you. Huh? My handling of the obstacles? Xiaofan was dumbfounded. Hadn't he handled them well? However, Yun Xian, you've surprised me. You have great potential. Mo Shuyun re-evaluated Yun Xian. Thank you, Captain. I'm still lacking compared to you. I hope to learn from you. I want to improve, Yun Xian said softly. Ha ha ha, that's too nice of you. Don't worry, I'll guide you well. Yun Xian, you've passed my test, Mo Shuyun said. Not bad. You ran really well. None of the previous members of the He family team could compare to you, Yun Xian. Given your situation, it wouldn't be a problem for you to join an intermediate team, Dinkuan commented. This boy called Yun Xian had indeed given him a great surprise. Old man, you're underestimating Yun Xian. If Yun Xian were to undergo professional training, he would be better than the average racer of a first-rate team, Mo Shuyun said, giving Yun Xian high praise. F***CK. Brother Yun, how did you run? Teach me. Xiaofan ran to Yun Xian excitedly. You're amazing. Thank you. I myself also need to learn. There are still many things I need to do. Let's work hard together. Yun Xian said softly. Let's put training aside for now. We are the only few members of the He family team right now. I've told everyone else to get lost. We have to recruit new racers. Yun Xian, are there any young racers who are good at running? Mo Shuyun asked. Yun Xian mulled it over for a moment before replying slowly, it seems like they aren't doing very well. Forget it. Let me handle this. When we find more racers to join the He family team, I'll train with all of you, Mo Shuyun replied. Update is over. It's the last 2 days of the month. I'm begging for monthly votes and recommendation votes. I'm going to compile the list of winners for the canvas bags. P.S. Dear babies, the story of Gong Xiaoqiao and Gu Xingshan that you've been waiting for is finally here. It's published as A Gentleman's Dilemma. The first 800 people will receive an autographed postcard, a Chow hairpin, and a bookmark. The official pre-sale address is Tmall's De Zhou Book Store. Chapter 479. Dinkuan heaved a sigh of relief when he heard Mo Shuyun. The He family team had been reshuffled. The members of the previous He family team would be dealt with in the next few days. They would be the only ones left in the He family team. Finding more racers and navigators was their top priority now. Shuyun, about the salary, Dinkuan's eyes landed on Mo Shuyun once more. Although he found it difficult to speak, he had to explain the He family's current predicament. Even though the previous He family team members hadn't been talented and had been slackers just like Mo Shuyun had said, their salaries weren't that high, so it was still acceptable. If Mo Shuyun were to recruit talented racers, the salary would be a huge problem. The He family team wouldn't be able to afford the salary of a mid-tier racer, even if they were asked to pay a mid-tier racer. Mo Shuyun immediately understood what He Dinkuan was talking about. He smiled and said, "Old master, to put it bluntly, I'm afraid it's unrealistic to think of poaching racers based on salary alone. No matter how high the salary is, I don't think we'll be able to find anyone." Then, He Dinkuan was taken aback. If Mo Shuyun couldn't recruit talented racers based on the salary, what could they rely on? Of course, He Dinkuan could understand Mo Shuyun's words. It was indeed difficult for the He family team to recruit talented racers and navigators based on the salary alone. "We can rely on potential," Mo Shuyun replied softly. Only racers with sufficient potential and ability would choose to join the He family team. "I believe that if the He family team has a captain, we will be able to attract talented racers," Yun Xian whispered softly. Mo Shuyun grinned and didn't say anything else. To put it bluntly, he had been interested in the He family team's potential. That was why he had agreed to become the captain and invest in the team. Mo Shuyun believed that, given Lin Yan's abilities, as long as she didn't abandon the He family team would shine one day. After leaving the He family mansion, Lin Yan wanted to return to Cloud Manor. However, Pei Yutong suddenly sent her a text message. "Sister-in-law, where's the present? Where's the present? Are you ready? We're almost out of time." Lin Yan fell into deep thought as she read his message. He immediately replied. "Falling rain setting sun, I'm looking, wishing big brother and sister-in-law a happy marriage. Sister-in-law, this time, it's all up to you. The gift must be big, heavy, and have a sense of quality. It's best to add a little more meaning so that it's different from others." Lin Yan furrowed her eyebrows. This kid was really demanding. However, since he had made such a request, she would naturally try her best to satisfy him. Lin Yan walked into a shop. Century Watch shop. The boss was a middle-aged man who was sitting behind the counter, wiping an old watch. "Boss." Lin Yan glanced at the owner with a smile. The owner raised his head and glanced at Lin Yan. "Welcome. How can I help you?" "I want to buy a big clock," replied Lin Yan. Yes. The boss stood up and walked out of the counter. He pointed at a row of seemingly old clocks in front of the door and said, "These are all old goods. Miss, why are you buying clocks?" Lin Yan grinned. "It's a gift." Chapter 480. The owner of the watch shop stared at Lin Yan in confusion. Had he heard wrongly? Was she buying a clock as a gift? Isn't that like giving someone a bell? Isn't it a homonym for sending someone off? Miss, wait, let me confirm. Are you buying a watch as a gift or a clock as a gift? The owner of the watch shop was a little uncertain. He had been in this business for years, but he had never heard or seen anyone giving a clock as a gift. A clock? You heard me right. I'm giving a clock, replied Lin Yan. The owner of the watch shop studied Lin Yan with a strange expression on his face. This young lady was impressive. She was a ruthless person. Then, beauty, do you have any requests? The owner of the watch shop continued to ask. Firstly, it has to be cheap. Secondly, it has to be big and heavy, replied Lin Yan. Then buy a new clock. Old clocks are considered toys and are very valuable, so they won't be cheap. A new clock will be cheaper, so the difference in price is huge, explained the owner. Then I'll buy a new clock. The cheapest one will do. Lin Yan grinned. After paying for the clock, the owner glanced at Lin Yan and asked, "Beauty, do you need me to deliver it to you?" Lin Yan pondered for a moment before she nodded. "Boss, let's exchange contact details. I'll let you know when I deliver it." "Sure." The owner agreed. "Tell me the address and time. I'll get someone to deliver it to you on time." Pei Yutong had been waiting for her when she returned to Cloud Manor. Pei Yutong scuttled over to her when he saw her. Pei Yutong sat on the couch in the room. "Sister-in-law, how was it? Have you settled the gift?" Lin Yan nodded when she saw the anticipation on Pei Yutong's face. "Don't worry. It's done." "Is it big enough?" Pei Yutong asked excitedly. "Don't worry. It's definitely big enough." Lin Yan nodded. "Is it heavy enough?" asked Pei Yutong. "It's very heavy," replied Lin Yan. "Does it have any connotation? Is it unique enough?" "The main reason is that it might be unique and artistic. If you give it to others, they will definitely look at you with sparkling eyes." Lin Yan looked serious. Pei Yutong looked puzzled. "Sister-in-law. Why do I feel like you're not reliable?" "Why? You don't believe me?" Lin Yan frowned. No. I trust you very much. Now that you've said that, I know what to do. It's all thanks to you this time." Pei Yutong was all smiles. "That's more like it. How many miles did I travel for your gift?" Lin Yan rolled her eyes at him. "Sister-in-law, you've worked hard. Where's the present? Show it to me." Pei Yutong eyed Lin Yan intently. "Why are you in such a hurry? It has to be big and heavy. Am I supposed to carry it around with me?" quipped Lin Yan. "Okay, sister-in-law, tell me what you bought for me so that I can be mentally prepared. Why are you in such a hurry? You'll know when I send it to you. If I tell you now, I won't be surprised." Lin Yan grinned. Pei Yutong nodded solemnly. "All right then. How much is the gift?" "I'll pay you." Lin Yan pondered for a moment before she grinned. "There's no hurry. I haven't sent it yet. You can pay me after the banquet." Chapter 481. "Oh yeah, sister-in-law." Pei Yutong was about to leave and a thought struck him. He halted and turned around to look at Lin Yan. "What's wrong?" asked Lin Yan. "The top team in the country will be competing against Yeva tomorrow. Do you want to go?" asked Pei Yutong. Lin Yan nodded and replied, "Sure, let's go and take a look." "All right then. We'll go together tomorrow." Pei Yutong turned around and left. Shortly after Pei Yutong left, God Zi and the others texted Lin Yan at the same time, as though they had agreed on it. They informed Lin Yan that Yeva would be competing against the best team in the country at the racetrack in the capital city tomorrow morning. They had also invited Lin Yan to watch. Of course, Lin Yan wouldn't reject them. Besides, she had promised Pei Yutong that she would be there on time. She wanted to see just what kind of divine being that imposter was. Since she had the guts to compete against the best team in the country, it meant that her driving skills weren't bad. Otherwise, she wouldn't have had the guts to do so. Lin Yan was looking forward to the private dinner tomorrow. That night, Mo Shuyun created a group chat and added Lin Yan, Yun Xian, and He Lifeng. Cold-blooded boy typed, "Hello." Wind-chasing general typed, "Cold-blooded boy? I'm Sunshine Boy. Who is this? Does this name belong to 20 years ago?" Cold-blooded boy typed, "I'm Mo Shuyun." Wind-chasing general typed, "Oh. Captain Mo. That's a good name. I'm He Lifeng." Cold-blooded boy typed, your name isn't any better than mine. Yun Xian was speechless. Expert driver, who the hell changed my group ID? Lin Yan stared at her phone with a dumbfounded expression on her face. Expert driver? Cold-blooded boy typed, idle. I changed it. Don't you like it? Without hesitation, Lin Yan changed her username back to her old one. Misty City amid the setting sun typed, don't change my name. Her name was a life-saving tool. How could she change it? Cold-blooded boy typed, alright, idle. Got it. Yun Xian, the cold-blooded boy replied, inform them that I'll be bringing 2 young warriors to the training ground tomorrow. He Lifeng and Yun Xian, come over. We'll train together and build up our chemistry. Yun Xian, yes, Captain. Wind Chaser exclaimed, wow. You found 2 racers so quickly? How good are they? The cold-blooded boy, definitely stronger than you. Young wind-chasing general, Misty City amid the setting sun, I might not have time tomorrow, so I'll have to trouble you for a while, Captain Mo. Let me finish what I have on hand first. Cold-blooded boy, alright idle, I don't need you for the time being. When you have time, just come over and take a look at the newcomers. Once you find a few more, you can continue with the competition. Misty City amid the setting sun, thank you for your hard work. Oh, by the way, there's another important matter. The cold-blooded boy, what is it, idle? Misty City amid the setting sun, admin, send a red packet. Great luck. The cold-blooded boy, the next morning. Lin Yan woke up early, but there were thousands of messages on WeChat. Lin Yan was dumbfounded when she unlocked her phone. Mo Shuyun, He Lifeng, and the others had chatted the entire night and had only ended half an hour ago. Misty City amid the setting sun, aren't you guys going to the training ground today? She waited for a long time, but no one replied. The 3 of them had chatted the entire night, so they probably wouldn't wake up until nightfall. Chapter 482. Lin Yan felt a little helpless. Mo Shuyun was too unreliable. Sister-in-law. Sister-in-law, are you awake? Pei Yutong had just washed up when he yelled at the top of his lungs. Lin Yan opened the door and glanced at Pei Yutong, who was dressed like a gentleman. Stop shouting. Sister-in-law, aren't you going to dress up? We are going to meet Yeva. Pei Yutong couldn't help but speak up when he saw Lin Yan in her casual attire. Why? Do you have a problem with that? Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong expressionlessly. Am I not presentable? Pei Yutong shook his head furiously. How could that be? Sister-in-law, you look presentable no matter what. Simple, but not simple. An hour later, Pei Yutong drove Lin Yan to a private arena in the suburbs of the capital city. Lin Yan scanned her surroundings and realized that there was no one around. Why isn't anyone here? Lin Yan's eyes darted to Pei Yutong in surprise. Of course. Pei Yutong grinned at Lin Yan. Sister-in-law, we agreed to meet at 9:30 p.m. It's only 7:30 p.m. Why would anyone be here? Lin Yan was startled when she heard Pei Yutong. Why was he here so early? You arrived 2 hours early? The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched as she stared at Pei Yutong. Sister-in-law, we are the first to arrive. That way, we will appear more important. Pei Yutong replied matter-of-factly. Lin Yan could only sigh helplessly. She wanted nothing more than to slap his smug face. Even if he was important, he had arrived 2 hours early. There was no one around. Who was he trying to show off? Lin Yan and Pei Yutong sat in the car and waited for more than an hour before people started to arrive. Miss Lin Yan, you're early. ZH1's Mumu got out of the car and walked to Lin Yen with a smile on his face. How could it be early? It was much earlier than he had expected. Where is your captain? Lin Yen asked curiously. God Z was nowhere to be seen. He should be here soon, replied Mumu. The moment he said that, one of the cars stopped by the side of the road and Almighty Z alighted. Miss Lin Yen. God Z seemed to be in a good mood when he saw Lin Yen. Is there only you and Mumu in ZH1? Lin Yen asked curiously. Yes. God Z nodded. Other than K1, the other teams only have 1 or 2 slots. The K1 team was currently the strongest team in the country. The imposter would be competing against the K1 team in today's friendly match. I didn't expect the racetrack's Grim Reaper to come to this country. Furthermore, we can see her. It's so surreal, Mumu exclaimed. Indeed. God Z chuckled softly. The K1 team has put in a lot of effort to be able to compete with Yeva. It's a pity that they are all professionals and there aren't any media outlets. Otherwise, it would be sensational. Being able to compete with Yeva is enough for K1 to brag about for the rest of his life. Pei Yutong chimed in. It was a pity that his finances were being controlled. Otherwise, he could have sent his team to compete with Yeva. Now, he could only watch from the sidelines. At this moment, a silver sports car drove over and stopped by the roadside. Wei Xiaofan put on his sunglasses as he got out of the car. Wei Xiaofan caught sight of Lin Yen the moment he got out of the car. Lin Yen. Why are you here? Wei Xiaofan hadn't expected Lin Yen to appear. He couldn't believe his eyes. Chapter 483. Lin Yen glanced at Wei Xiaofan in confusion. After some time, she replied, if you can come, why can't I? You, Wei Xiaofan frowned, as though he wanted to say something. Before Wei Xiaofan could say anything, Qi Xiaoyuan walked over slowly and pulled Wei Xiaofan back. He shot him a meaningful look and said, Little Feng, you're meddling too much. It seems to me that you want to control everything. What does it have to do with you if they want to come or not? Wei Xiaofan shook his head and glanced at Qi Xiaoyuan. I can understand the others, but Lin Yen, why do I need you to understand? Are you the host? Aren't we invited guests? Don't treat yourself like the host, Qi Xiaoyuan hissed. Wei Xiaofan was speechless. Wei Xiaofan couldn't refute Qi Xiaoyuan's words, as there was nothing wrong with that. However, Wei Xiaofan was puzzled by the fact that the people who had been invited to meet Yeva were all reputable people in the industry. Logically speaking, Lin Yen shouldn't have the right to meet Yeva. No. She shouldn't even know that Yeva had come to the country. Wei Xiaofan studied Lin Yen from time to time. What was wrong with this woman? Why did she appear wherever he went? First, she kept imitating his goddess. Now, she was attending her private banquet. Lin Yen didn't seem bothered by Wei Xiaofan's gaze. It seemed like Qi Xiaoyuan had kept his promise and hadn't revealed anything. Otherwise, if Wei Xiaofan had known that Yeva was an imposter, he would have blown things up. However, judging from Wei Xiaofan's behavior, he shouldn't have known. After a while, more and more people arrived. Anyone who was able to come here was a well-known figure in the circle, including Air Force's team and some of the top Chinese racing teams. Almost all of them had arrived. Lin Yen even spotted the WW team. However, WW's captain seemed embarrassed to see Lin Yen, so he pretended not to see her. Sister-in-law, I'm so excited. I will be able to see Yeva race with my own eyes. This is so exciting. Pei Yutong gazed at Lin Yen excitedly. You're excited already? Lin Yen glanced at Pei Yutong. She was afraid that his heart wouldn't be able to take it. Sister-in-law, there's a private dinner tonight. Have you settled the gift? Pei Yutong asked again. Don't worry. Everything is ready. The gifts will be delivered to you during the banquet. Lin Yan glanced at him. Sister-in-law, I'm looking forward to it. Pei Yutong chuckled. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up. Actually, I'm looking forward to it. Just as they were talking, a fleet of cars approached them from the front. Everyone was familiar with the leading team. It was K1, the top team from the Hua nation that the racetrack's death god would be competing against. Behind the K1 fleet, there was a huge nanny van, surrounded by many security guards. F***CK. Yeva must be in that nanny van. Pei Yutong craned his neck and blurted out anxiously. Dear readers, the list of winners for the 50 canvas bags has been posted in the book review section. Everyone, please remember to collect your prizes in the group chat within the next 7 days. It's almost November 1st. If there are any babies who haven't cast their monthly votes, please do so now. Otherwise, it will be invalid next month. The active ranking will end at 2350 today, in case the data is delayed. I wonder what they are up to. Lin Yan didn't want to reject Pei Yutong's enthusiasm. However, she wasn't too interested in the national teams. November 1st is the start of a new month. I'm begging for a guaranteed monthly vote. Today, I'll pick one of the contestants and give you a Dior lipstick. Just get a monthly vote. Chapter 485. Sister-in-law, let me tell you something. Do you see that man with a buzzcut and a poker face? He is the captain of K1's Team 3. The other one is Blondie, the captain of K1's Team 2. The last one is a pretty girl who looks cold and aloof. She is the captain of K1's Team 1. Pei Yutong told Lin Yan. Lin Yan glanced at the K1 team and replied, "Oh, got it. Sister-in-law, the captain of K1's Team 1 is very good. I reckon that she is even better than you. She is one of the top female racers in the country." Pei Yutong quipped. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong in confusion. Why do you keep comparing me to her? Sister-in-law, of course I have to compare you to her. Firstly, the captain of K1 is one of the few female racers in the country. Coincidentally, you're also a woman and you are very good at racing. Who else can I compare her to? Pei Yutong replied matter-of-factly. Why don't you compare her to Yeva? Quipped Lin Yan. Pei Yutong was taken aback by Lin Yan's words. He stared at Lin Yan in shock. Who should I compare her to? Yeva? Sister-in-law, are you serious? This. As the saying goes, how can the light of a firefly compete with the brilliance of the moon? They are in two completely different worlds. There's no way to compare them. Although Yeva is also a lady, this isn't a matter of gender. Lin Yan tilted her head and glanced at Pei Yutong. Hence, the female captain of K1 couldn't possibly be compared to the racetrack's Grim Reaper. However, she could be compared to her and was even better than her. This logic was really F***King strong. Ma. Madam Lin Yan. Before Pei Yutong could respond, Qi Xiaoyuan, who was standing not too far away, approached Lin Yan with a fawning smile on his face. What are you doing? Pei Yutong frowned and blocked Qi Xiaoyuan, who was about to get close to Lin Yan. Why are you blocking me? Qi Xiaoyuan asked curiously when he saw Pei Yutong standing in front of him. Look at how perverted your smile is. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't force your way into it. Pei Yutong was annoyed. What kind of joke was this? Lin Yan was his sister-in-law. Pei Yutong was certain that the man before him was a shameless peach blossom. His big brother wasn't around, so he had the responsibility and obligation to help his big brother get rid of these peach blossoms. This was the best way for him to win his big brother's favor. I'm boss. I mean, Madame Lin Yan's friend, Qi Xiaoyuan explained. Friend? Qi Xiaoyuan looked at Qi Xiaoyuan in disdain. All the more reason not to get close. Listen to me and move aside. Get up and move. Lin Yan pinched her temples and glanced at Pei Yutong. Pei Yutong stared at Qi Xiaoyuan sternly. Did you hear that? Madame Lin Yan is asking you to get up. I'm talking about you. Lin Yan stood behind Pei Yutong and poked him with her finger. Pei Yutong, you can't do that. My brother isn't dead yet. Pei Yutong looked like he was about to cry. Lin Yan was speechless, Qi Xiaoyuan was speechless, Madame Lin Yan. This silly. Is this man your friend? Qi Xiaoyuan asked curiously. My son. Lin Yan grinned. //. Chapter 486. Qi Xiaoyuan stared at Lin Yan in shock. Then, he studied Pei Yutong, who was standing in front of Lin Yan. Son. Son. Qi Xiaoyuan swallowed his saliva. This son was way too big. Could he be the legendary giant baby? Nice to meet you. This young master is really handsome. Young master, what's your name? Qi Xiaoyuan smiled at Pei Yutong. Pei Yutong was speechless, Lin Yan was speechless, Lin Yan had just been joking. Who would have thought that Qi Xiaoyuan would take it seriously? Young master, can you move aside? I have something to discuss with your mother. Uncle will buy you a gift later. Qi Xiaoyuan grinned when Pei Yutong didn't respond. What's wrong with you? Have you ever seen a young master this big? Pei Yutong pointed at Qi Xiaoyuan's nose and gestured at his own body. When Pei Yutong heard Lin Yan, he stepped aside. Qi Xiaoyuan looked a little awkward. Boss, I was scared to death just now. I really thought that he was your son. Qi Xiaoyuan stared at Lin Yan as though he had heaved a sigh of relief. He absolutely couldn't accept the fact that his boss had such a big son. He couldn't accept the fact that his boss was married and had a son, but that a loyal fan like him hadn't known about it at all. I was just joking. He is a good friend of mine. Lin Yan grinned. Qi Xiaoyuan heaved a sigh of relief. Boss, I'm not stupid. I just trust you too much. Boss, I believe everything you say. I'm just that loyal. Lin Yan looked as though she understood him. She wasn't stupid, but she could understand him. Boss, that imposter is too arrogant. How could an imposter make such a big scene? Qi Xiaoyuan gritted his teeth as he stared at the minivan driving slowly toward them. Boss, do you know that we, the guests who are attending the private banquet, have to prepare a greeting gift? They must be crazy about money. Are you ready? Lin Yan stared at Qi Xiaoyuan and asked anxiously. I'm ready. Qi Xiaoyuan nodded. Wei Xiufeng, that fool, forced me to buy it. I had no choice but to prepare it. What did you prepare? Lin Yan frowned. Don't worry, boss. It's not convenient for me to tell you now. You'll know when the banquet starts, Qi Xiaoyuan said with a smile. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief when she heard that. She had been afraid that Qi Xiaoyuan would be silly enough to prepare an expensive gift. Boss, look at the K1 team's lackeys. It's disgusting. Qi Xiaoyuan continued. Before Lin Yan could respond, the van finally stopped. Immediately, everyone's eyes were filled with excitement and anticipation as they sized up the nanny van. Soon, the head of the security guards stepped forward and opened the door. In the next second, Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan helped each other out of the car. "Miss Lin Shuya, I often see you on TV. This time, you look even more beautiful than on TV," one of the captains said to Lin Shuya. Lin Shuya grinned and glanced at the captain. "Captain Zhen, you're too kind. We watch your competitions on TV too." Chapter 487. Haha. Captain Shen is very famous in the racing industry. His driving skills are excellent too, Lin Shuya quipped. Captain Shen beamed brightly as he replied, "Thank you, Miss Lin Shuya, for your compliment. This must be Miss Lin Shuya's fiancé, Mr. Han Yishuan. The two of them are a match made in heaven." The reason why the racetrack's Grim Reaper was invited to this country is not only because of Miss Lin Shuya's efforts, but also because of Mr. Han Yishuan. It's not easy to invite such an important figure. WW's captain smiled at Han Yishuan. The corners of Han Yishuan's mouth curled up into a smile. "Actually, I've always had a strong passion for racing. The racetrack's Grim Reaper is my favorite racer. It's not just Yeva. Her disciples, such as Lang Mang and Butcher, are my idols. It's a great honor for Shuya and I to be able to invite a super idol like Yeva." What a hypocrite. If you want to invite someone, then invite the real one. Why did you invite an imposter? Qi Xiaoyuan sneered coldly at Lin Yan. Actually, Lin Yan didn't think that Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan had invited an imposter. After all, they wouldn't have the guts to do so. Hence, Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan must have been duped. Of course, whether they had been duped or not had nothing to do with Lin Yan. She could only say that evil people would be tortured by evil people. Haha. Mr. Han Yishuan isn't just a popular actor in the entertainment industry. He is also the heir of the Han family. Given his status and the fact that he is Yeva's biggest fan, it's only natural that he would be able to invite her. Qi Xiaoyuan sneered coldly. Lin Yan glanced at his expression and asked curiously, "What's wrong?" "Boss, don't listen to them. Back then, you didn't even give Si Mingze any face when he invited you. How can Han Yishuan compare to Si Mingze? He doesn't even have the right to shine his shoes," Qi Xiaoyuan quipped. "Si Mingze?" Lin Yan was startled. She tried to recall who he was, but she couldn't recall who he was. Back when she was abroad, there were too many people who invited her, and there were all kinds of people. "Boss, it can't be. Did you forget Si Mingze? I heard that he fought with Pei Yucheng from JM Corporation." "Who is Pei Yucheng?" "He's a monster." However, Lin Yan didn't hear him at all. The woman had gotten out of the van and revealed her face. "Racetrack's Grim Reaper. Yeva." Someone cried out in surprise. Not long after, everyone's eyes turned to look at the woman. The woman who stepped out of the minivan was wearing a signature silver racing suit. Her hair was so long that it reached her waist, and her eyes seemed to be hiding ice. Her aura was very strong. Even though she was just standing in the distance, she gave off a feeling that no one could approach her. She was extremely cold. "Yeva." "Boss," Wei Shufeng stared blankly at the woman who had just stepped out of the minivan. His eyes were transfixed, and his breathing became lighter. He was afraid that he was hallucinating. She was the goddess of his dreams. The racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva. Chapter 488. Wow, she's quite good-looking. Qi Xiaoyuan glanced at the girl as he muttered under his breath. Qi Xiaoyuan sneered coldly when he sensed Lin Yan's gaze. "She might be good-looking, but she's far from my boss. How dare she pretend to be my boss? That's an insult to her. Lin Yen was speechless. He was indeed a fan of hers, everyone. Before anyone could respond, Han Yishuan grinned and walked over to the girl. This is the famous racetrack's Grim Reaper, Madame Yeva. This is the first time Madame Yeva has appeared in the industry. As we have agreed, I hope that everyone will abide by the written agreement and not take any photos or videos of Madame Yeva. Thank you for your cooperation. Hearing this, everyone nodded their heads. They naturally understood the rules. Besides, no one would be bold enough to expose Yeva's image in public. They would be courting death if they dared to do so. Mr. Han Yishuan, don't worry. We have a high status in the industry. We know what we should and shouldn't do. What you're worried about will never happen, the captain of WW assured Han Yishuan solemnly. Han Yishuan nodded in response. Everyone was shocked to realize that the legendary racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, was whispering to Han Yishuan and Lin Shuya. They seemed to be whispering something. Boss, is she so close to Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan? Wei Xiaofan was taken aback for a moment. Then, a hint of jealousy flashed across his eyes. Why could Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan be so close to boss? If Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan could do that, why couldn't he? Regardless of whether it was his reputation or his family background, he couldn't be compared to Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan. Wei Xiaofan calmed down quickly. Boss couldn't be that kind of person. He would never get close to someone just because they had a higher status. Otherwise, if a big shot like Gong Mingze had invited him, he wouldn't have rejected him so decisively. Although Wei Xiaofan didn't know much about foreign affairs, he was familiar with the Gong family, which was one of the wealthiest families in China. Wei Xiaofan shook his head. Why was he thinking about this? He should be satisfied that he could see boss's face and stand so close to her. Hi, are you Wei Xiaofan? Just as Wei Xiaofan lowered his head in silence, the girl suddenly appeared in front of him. Her icy aura seemed to melt a little as she smiled faintly. Ah! Wei Xiaofan lifted his head and stared blankly at the goddess in his heart. When he saw the smile on her face and her eyes on him, his mind went blank. Wei Xiaofan couldn't believe his eyes. Boss actually took the initiative to talk to him? Shuya has been telling me about you. She says that you are my die-hard fan. The girl smiled. Wei Xiaofan nodded frantically. Boss. I am. Wei Xiaofan glanced at Lin Shuya gratefully. Sorry for the long wait. Update is over. Yesterday's Dior lipstick kiss was You Don't Understand the World of Dummies. Please join the group to claim your prize. Please continue to beg for monthly votes and recommendation votes. Today, you will receive a custom-made bracelet. Please vote within this month. The bracelet is engraved with the words "May you be carefree." The bottom of the bracelet is engraved with "Adorable." Chapter 489. Wei Xiaofan's gaze landed on Lin Shuya as he looked at her gratefully. He hadn't expected that Lin Shuya would mention him in front of Yeva. Shuya, thank you. Wei Xiaofan was visibly moved as he thanked Lin Shuya. Lin Shuya chuckled softly as she glanced at Wei Xiaofan. Xiaofan, there's no need to thank me. I know that you're a loyal fan of Madame Yeva. Before she retired, you would watch every single one of her competitions. You even gave up everything else. Hence, I think that Madame Yeva should get to know you. She would be happy to have a fan like you. Ha! The girl beside Wei Xiaofan grinned at Lin Shuya and said, Shuya, thank you for introducing me to him. He's quite cute. Ah! Wei Xiaofan felt as though he had been electrocuted as soon as the girl finished speaking. What did boss just say? He was quite cute. At this moment, it was like a dream, like reality and unreality were fusing together. Wei Shufeng had imagined himself chatting with Boss countless times in the past. He had never imagined that Boss would say that he was cute in front of him. Wei Shufeng's fair face turned slightly red. What the F***ck? Qi Xiaoyuan had the urge to slap Wei Shufeng to death when he saw him. This lad was a fake fan through and through. He didn't care about Boss in person, but he wanted to sacrifice himself to the fake Boss. He was hopeless. He should call the crematorium and get someone to cremate him. Guru. Suddenly, Pei Yutong walked to Wei Shufeng's side and gazed at the girl in awe. Hello. The girl retracted her gaze from Wei Shufeng and turned to Pei Yutong. Guru, are you still accepting disciples? Would you consider taking me in as your disciple? Pei Yutong gazed at the girl with anticipation. Disciple? The girl was taken aback when she heard Pei Yutong. Yes, yes, yes. I'm accepting a disciple. Pei Yutong nodded solemnly. Then, he said solemnly, Guru, I'm extremely talented in racing. I believe that if you accept me as your disciple, my racing skills will definitely surpass Lang Mang and Butcher. However, I'm sure they won't lose to me. Of course, as long as you're willing to accept me as your disciple, I'll accept any conditions. Pei Yutong raised his head, his eyes gleaming. He seemed to be announcing that he was rich. Although Pei Yutong's request was a little excessive, Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan didn't say anything. Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan weren't aware of Pei Yutong's identity. However, he had been introduced by an influential figure in the industry. His identity couldn't be simple. Before he could respond, Lin Yen pulled him back. Sister-in-law, what are you doing? This is a turning point in my life. It's a huge opportunity. Pei Yutong glanced at Lin Yen in confusion. Lin Yen glanced at him. Wanting to spend money to become the disciple of an impostor. Don't even think about it. She could become the disciple of an impostor, but she couldn't spend money. Do you believe that I won't tell your brother? Lin Yen whispered to Pei Yutong. Lin Yan's tone sounded as though she was threatening him. Do you believe that I won't tell your mother? Initially, Pei Yutong had been aggressive. However, as soon as Lin Yen spoke, he deflated like a deflated balloon. He no longer had the slightest bit of anger. Chapter 490. Pei Yutong shuddered involuntarily at the thought of his big brother. No matter what, I can't let Big Brother know about this. If Big Brother knows about this, my legs will be broken. Huh, sister-in-law, no. My dear father, look at what you're saying. Wasn't I just joking just now? How could I possibly become his disciple? Daddy, you're willing to teach me racing techniques. That's more than enough. I don't need anyone to teach me. Pei Yutong smiled apologetically at Lin Yen. Lin Yen shook her head in disdain. I refuse. Huh? Pei Yutong was taken aback. What do you mean? I refuse to teach you. Lin Yen was ruthless. Pei Yutong was speechless. Why are you here? Before Pei Yutong could respond, Han Yishuan and Lin Shuya had discovered that Lin Yen had stepped forward to pull Pei Yutong back. Han Yishuan's eyes darted to Lin Yen with a frown. Before Lin Yen could respond, Han Yishuan hissed coldly, how did you sneak in here? Why haven't you given up yet? Why do you insist on pestering Shuya and me? You even came to harass our guests today. Everyone's eyes darted to Lin Yen when they heard Han Yishuan's words. Lin Yen glanced at Han Yishuan, looking perplexed. Where did this fellow get his sense of superiority from? Yishuan, calm down. Sister might have met her by chance. Lin Shuya grabbed Han Yishuan's arm gently and tried to calm him down. Han Yishuan frowned as he glanced at Lin Shuya. Shuya, although I don't know how this woman managed to sneak in today, I'm sure she has a motive. She chose to come at the same time we invited Madame Yeva. How could there be such a coincidence? Yeva glanced at Lin Yan coldly before she turned to Han Yishuan. Mr. Han, isn't she an invited guest? No. Han Yishuan shook his head. Yeva's eyes hardened. Mr. Han, you should know that I have already said that I will only meet my fans and people in the industry. How can I allow anyone to come here? I'm sorry, Madame Yeva. This is our oversight. I will resolve it immediately. Han Yishuan glanced at the girl apologetically. Get him out. Han Yishuan glared at Lin Yan in disgust before he turned to the security guards and yelled at them. Dad, who is this person? Are you familiar with him? Pei Yutong lowered his voice and asked, is he one of the rumored boyfriends? Lin Yan was speechless. It wasn't a scandal, it was an ex-boyfriend. I don't know him very well. His name is Han. Lin Yan lowered her head as though she was deep in thought. She didn't have a good memory for people who weren't important to her. F***CK. Who the F***CK are you? Why are you acting all high and mighty here? Do you believe that I won't beat you up? Pei Yutong glared at Han Yishuan as he shouted coldly. What kind of joke was this? How could his sister-in-law be chased out by someone like him? Had he eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts? If Big Brother were to find out about this, wouldn't his teeth break? Of all people, why did he have to provoke the King of Hell's woman? Chapter 491. Of course, as Yan Wang Pei's brother, he couldn't back down. Big Brother wasn't around, so he had to protect Big Sister-in-law. Otherwise, if Big Brother found out, he would be the one in trouble. Sir, please step aside. This has nothing to do with you. Han Yishuan glanced at Pei Yutong expressionlessly. Huh? Nothing to do with me? Why does it have nothing to do with me? Do you know who I am? Do you know who she is? Do you know who she is to me? Do you know who I am to her? Pei Yutong bellowed. Han Yishuan frowned when he heard that. Why was this man behaving like a lunatic? Why was he speaking so incoherently? It was ridiculous. Han Yishuan knew that this man's identity couldn't be that simple. When Pei Yutong's name had appeared on the invitation list, they had investigated him as well. However, the result of the investigation was that Pei Yutong managed an extremely weak team. Besides that, the man's identity seemed to be a mystery. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find out anything. I'm curious. Who exactly are you? Han Yishuan glanced at Pei Yutong expressionlessly. Pfft. Do you think you're fit to know my identity? Pei Yutong snorted coldly. Although he wanted to reveal his identity, Big Brother had forbidden him from stirring up trouble, especially when he was Pei Yucheng's brother. Hence, no one knew Pei Yutong's identity. Even if a small number of people knew, they wouldn't dare leak it. Pei Yutong himself wouldn't dare to do so either. Daddy, don't worry. I'm a man. As long as I'm around, no one will dare to bully you. Pei Yutong turned to Lin Yan with a serious expression. Yeah, you're a good boy. Lin Yan nodded eagerly. She was touched and relieved. He was indeed a good son. She hadn't doted on him for nothing. So, Pei Yutong replied solemnly, when we fight later, remember to protect me. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yutong knew how powerful his father was. These bodyguards wouldn't be a match for his father, but they would be more than enough to protect him. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong, feeling touched. However, when she heard Pei Yutong's words, her emotions vanished. This naughty kid. Chase her out. At that moment, Han Yishuan finally lost his patience. Let's see who dares. Suddenly, Qi Xiaoyuan, who had been standing beside Lin Yan, stepped forward with a cold expression on his face. Young Master Qi, what are you doing? Han Yishuan was slightly puzzled. I invited Miss Lin here. How dare you attack her? Qi Xiaoyuan hissed coldly. Before Han Yishuan could say anything else, Mumu and God Z from ZH1 strode over. Mr. Han, what's the meaning of this? Miss Lin was invited by ZH1. Is this how you treat her? God Z glared at Han Yishuan. God Z also invited old Miss Lin Yan? Qi Xiaoyuan asked. Yeah, we happened to have an extra spot, so we gave it to Miss Lin, replied God Z. Understood. Qi Xiaoyuan nodded. In other words, boss was invited here by a few reputable people. However, this Han Yishuan actually dared to be so rude. Wei Shufeng stared at Qi Xiaoyuan in astonishment. Since when had Qi Xiaoyuan hooked up with Lin Yan? He had even disobeyed boss's orders to stand up for Lin Yan. Was he crazy? Chapter 492. Han Yishuan glanced at Pei Yutang, Qi Xiaoyuan, and God Z in astonishment. How could this be possible? What was Lin Yan's relationship with them? Lin Yan hadn't snuck in. She had been invited by all three of them at the same time. Moreover, the three of them had gone to such lengths to confront him, the organizer of this private dinner, just to stand up for Lin Yan? What was their relationship with Lin Yan? Han Yishuan instinctively glanced at Lin Shuya. Lin Shuya seemed to be deep in thought. She wasn't surprised that God Z had appeared. She had studied a lot of racing knowledge recently to get the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper in Legend. She had also watched many competitions in the country. Before Meeting One's match had been released, WW had challenged ZH1. Although she didn't know what had happened, the He family team had replaced ZH1 and competed against WW. In the end, Lin Yan had managed to beat WW. Although Lin Shuya knew that Lin Yan had been a racer overseas, she hadn't expected that Lin Yan would be so good at racing. She had even managed to beat a top team like WW, hence, Lin Yan had to be acquainted with ZH1's captain, God Z. What she hadn't expected was that other than ZH1's God Z, Qi Xiaoyuan and the mysterious Pei Yutang would also stand up for her. Lin Shuya's eyes trailed to Lin Yan as the corners of her mouth curled up into a sneer. She had really underestimated her sister. How could she hook up with three men at the same time? She wasn't simple at all, Madame Yeva. This is my sister. She isn't an outsider. She's also a member of a small team. Lin Shuya glanced at the frosty girl as she spoke softly. The girl glanced at Lin Yan expressionlessly and replied coldly, I don't care who she is or which team she's from. I just hope that this won't happen again. Miss Yeva, we promise that there won't be any accidents. It was just a misunderstanding, the female assistant behind Lin Shuya assured her. Little Z, it's not that I want to scold you, but today is a friendly match between us and Madame Yeva. We agreed that we wouldn't invite outsiders. It's not nice of you to bring someone over and make everyone unhappy. One of the K team's captains glanced at God Z impatiently and glanced at Lin Yan with disdain. Miss Lin Yan is my good friend and a talented racer. What do you mean by an outsider? God Z quipped. What do you mean, a female racer with decent skills? The K1 team's only female captain sneered at God Z. I know almost all the capable female racers in the country, but I'm sorry, I really don't know her. You're a female racer yourself. How could you look down on female racers? Isn't Madame Yeva a female racer too? Lin Yan chuckled nonchalantly. The female K1 racer was taken aback. She glared at Lin Yan coldly and said, don't try to change the topic. What I mean is that I know all the capable female racers in the country, but I don't know you. Lin Yan nodded. What a coincidence. What do you mean? Lin Yan replied, I don't know you either. End of update. Moi yesterday, the baby who won the adorable bracelet was GG of the super koi fish. Today, one person will continue to get the adorable bracelet, and there will be a monthly ticket draw event. Chapter 493. The female captain of the K1 team's eyes gleamed coldly when she heard Lin Yan. This woman's sarcasm was amusing. The female captain of the K1 team sneered coldly. Even if you don't know me, I'm the captain of a top team in the country. You're just a small team. If you hadn't hooked up with these men, I'm afraid you wouldn't even have the right to meet Madame Yeva. How can you say that? Pei Yutong stepped forward before Lin Yan could respond. He glared at the captain of the K1 team and said, I remember that your name is Zhou Yuan, right? Didn't you brush your teeth today? Why do you have such a foul mouth? Sister Yan's driving skills are probably better than yours. Zhou Yuan didn't think much of the first half of Pei Yutong's sentence. The corners of her mouth curled up into a smirk. Even if I close my eyes, she won't be able to catch up to me. Indeed. Lin Yan nodded calmly. She might not be able to catch up with her eyes open. Zhou Yuan, forget it. Before Zhou Yuan could retort, the captain of the K1 team stepped forward and said, What's the point of arguing with a small team? Don't embarrass yourself in front of others. Hearing this, Zhou Yuan was slightly taken aback. However, his words were not without reason. Let's go. We're about to race with Madame Yeva. Moments later, the K1 team entered the venue with their beloved Miss Yeva at the front and back. Boss, these people are asking for a beating. Qi Xiaoyuan stood beside Lin Yan, looking furious. If they knew that you're the real Yeva, I wonder what they would think. The K1 captains are such fools. Lin Yan chuckled softly at Qi Xiaoyuan's words but didn't comment. To Lin Yan, status didn't matter in the racing industry. Her ability was the only thing that mattered. Even though she had abandoned the name Yeva forever, given time, she could still become a new Yeva. Oh yeah, boss. Do you think that imposter can beat the K1 team? Qi Xiaoyuan gazed at Lin Yan with an odd expression on his face. Boss, K1 is the best racing team in the country. If the imposter loses, won't her identity be exposed? Qi Xiaoyuan asked. If she wasn't strong enough, she wouldn't have dared to impersonate me, replied Lin Yan softly. That is true. Qi Xiaoyuan nodded, but he was still curious. But, if the imposter really has the ability to outrun K1, there is no need for her to pretend to be the boss for money, unless the imposter has some other purpose, but based on the current situation, it looks like she is really here for money. Actually, Lin Yan was doubtful about Qi Xiaoyuan's analysis. Just as Qi Xiaoyuan had said, if she could really beat the entire K1 team, she wouldn't need to pretend to be someone else to earn money. She could just join an international team and make a fortune. Perhaps Qi Xiaoyuan was right. That woman might have some ulterior motive for impersonating her. Of course, it was also possible that she didn't have the ability to outrun K1. However, if it was the latter, then everything could be explained, and the friendly match that was about to begin would definitely not start smoothly. Don't worry. Just treat it as a monkey show. Lin Yan chuckled softly. Wei Shifeng was stalking toward her with an unfriendly expression on his face. Lin Yan. Wei Shufeng walked over to Lin Yan with a frown on his face. Speak, said Lin Yan. What do you want? Wei Shufeng hissed coldly. Sorry for the long wait. There's still a show tonight. Chapter 495. Lin Yan remained expressionless when she saw that Wei Shufeng was hostile. She glanced at him and asked, What's wrong? Lin Yan, you usually appear wherever I am. That's fine, but if you mess around today, you will get yourself into trouble, Wei Shufeng hissed at Lin Yan. Qi Xiaoyuan, who was standing nearby, couldn't help but shake his head. Wei Shufeng was being silly again. In Qi Xiaoyuan's opinion, Wei Shufeng was digging his own grave. The more delighted he was, the greater the price he would have to pay in the future. What if Wei Shufeng found out that Lin Yan was his boss one day? What would he do? Would he want to bang his head against the wall to end all his troubles? Lin Yan, let me warn you. I don't care who invited you here. If you dare to mess around, I will make you suffer. Wei Shufeng glared at Lin Yan as he spat out these words. Little Feng. Suddenly, Qi Xiaoyuan strode forward and glanced at Wei Shufeng. Are you done? She didn't do anything to you. What's wrong with you? As soon as Qi Xiaoyuan finished speaking, Wei Shufeng turned to look at him. Wei Shufeng found Qi Xiaoyuan's behavior very unusual today. He had no idea why Qi Xiaoyuan had done that. Not only had he invited Lin Yan, but he had also protected her. Logically speaking, this shouldn't have happened. Qi Xiaoyuan, what's wrong with you? Wei Shufeng stared at Qi Xiaoyuan with a frown. What do you mean what's wrong with me? I should be the one asking you what's wrong with you, Qi Xiaoyuan retorted. You? Did you really hook up with her? Wei Shufeng's eyes widened in shock. The corners of Qi Xiaoyuan's mouth twitched. He wanted to, but how could he? Besides, his love for Boss was pure and unadulterated admiration. What did he mean by hooking up with her? Cut the crap. Miss Lin. Miss Lin Yan is my idol. I really like her movies, especially her role. Lin Pianpian. Wei Shufeng fell silent as he tried to recall what he had heard. Lin Yan was speechless. It's Lin Pianruo, Lin Yan corrected him. It was obvious that Qi Xiaoyuan didn't do his job well. Oh, yes, Lin Pianruo. Qi Xiaoyuan nodded. She's really good. There was no way Wei Shufeng would believe him. Qi Xiaoyuan, don't you never watch movies? Wei Shufeng quipped. When Meeting One's match was screened, he refused to watch it even if she gave him a ticket. How can that be the same? I didn't watch it in the past, but that doesn't mean that I won't watch it now. In the future, I will watch every movie that Miss Lin stars in. Qi Xiaoyuan quipped. Wei Shufeng was puzzled when he heard Qi Xiaoyuan. He knew Qi Xiaoyuan very well, so there was no way he would believe Qi Xiaoyuan's lies. Lin Yan, let me warn you. Stay away from me and my friends. I don't care what tricks you use to make Qi Xiaoyuan protect you, but don't challenge my patience. Wei Shufeng's eyes were cold and hard. Of course. Lin Yan grinned and turned to Qi Xiaoyuan. Right? No, of course not. Just stay away from him. Qi Xiaoyuan blurted out anxiously. Little Feng, you're hopeless. You will regret this. You will want to kill yourself. Qi Xiaoyuan looked at Wei Shufeng helplessly. It seemed like Pei Yucheng's parents had been a little biased. Update has ended. The name of the adorable bracelet is Pei Tiantong's Yeva. Please join the prize group to claim the prize. Please continue to ask for monthly votes and recommendation votes. You can claim your monthly votes. This chapter will continue with the monthly votes. You can claim a monthly vote. Chapter 497. A few minutes later, Lin Yan, Pei Yutong, Qi Xiaoyuan, and the others arrived. The venue was huge, and the facilities were perfect. This was the venue for the top teams in the country. There were about a dozen racing cars parked in the arena. Among them, there was a silver racing car that was especially recognizable. Lin Yan's eyes trailed to the silver car as she fell into deep thought. It seemed like Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan had put in a lot of effort to imitate the car that she had used in the WZ team. At this moment, the impostor was surrounded like a myriad of stars surrounding the moon. Madam Yeva, can we start now? One of the K1 captains walked over to Yeva with a bright smile on his face. The impostor's eyes trailed to the captain as she mulled it over. Let's change the format. Huh? Everyone was stunned when they heard what the impostor said. Madam Yeva, what do you mean by changing the format? The captain of the K1 team asked, looking puzzled. I have already told Miss Shuya that I have been too busy today, so my injury has flared up. I don't think I'm in a good condition to compete in a friendly competition. It's best if we change the format, the impostor replied softly. The K1 team had never expected that there would be a sudden change in the format. Is there a problem? The impostor furrowed her eyebrows. Her eyes gleamed as though she was saying, it's an honor to be able to compete with you. Don't be so shameless. I hope that everyone can understand Madam Yeva. She has retired temporarily because of her injuries. We invited her to the country, so she's a little tired. Given her current condition, it's not suitable for her to participate in a friendly competition. Lin Shuya chuckled softly. All right then. Actually, it doesn't matter. It's an honor to be able to compete with Madam Yeva. One of the K1 captains stepped forward with a smile. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up into a smile. It seemed like he had guessed correctly. This impostor was indeed capable, but she probably wasn't capable enough to defeat K1, the top racing team in China. Hence, what happened now was reasonable. Madam Yeva, how do we do it? The leader of the K1 team asked curiously. It's rare that half of the Chinese racing circle is here today. Since that's the case, let's have an exhibition match, the impostor said softly. Exhibition match? The K1 team fell into deep thought after hearing this. It wasn't impossible for the K1 team to hold an exhibition race. Boss, it's an exhibition race. I wonder if Boss will show off his amazing skills. Wei Xiaofan gazed at the impostor expectantly. The impostor's eyes landed on Wei Xiaofan as she chuckled. Do you want to watch? Of course. Wei Xiaofan nodded eagerly. Yeva's amazing skills weren't something that could be seen anytime or anywhere. Usually, she would only use them when she felt threatened. Chapter 498. When they heard that the impostor was going to show off her skills, everyone cheered and cheered. Lin Yan's curiosity was piqued. How dare this impostor say something like that? Was she really planning to show off her skills on the track? Stop pretending. Qi Xiaoyuan whispered to Lin Yan, this impostor claims that she can show off your racing skills. How is that possible? Actually, Lin Yan was curious as well. She was looking forward to seeing if the impostor would be able to fulfill her promise. Before long, all the members of the K1 racing team walked onto the track and entered their cars. Before long, more than 10 cars started to move simultaneously. Although the imposter had changed her mind at the last minute, the K1 team had been caught off guard. They hadn't rehearsed for this competition, but they were still the best team in the country. Hence, they had great teamwork. The K1 team had used about 15 minutes to finish the competition. Although there were some flaws in their performance, the fact that they hadn't rehearsed beforehand was enough to prove that they weren't simple. After the K1 team was done, the imposter slowly walked onto the track, surrounded by the crowd. Suddenly, the imposter was the only one left. She was wearing a silver uniform, and her back was facing everyone. On her right was a silver car. After putting on the helmet, the imposter looked so much like Lin Yan that it was almost as though she was the real deal. Even Lin Yan felt as though she was watching her own race. Wei Xiaofan and the others had their eyes glued to the imposter. Their eyes were filled with anticipation and excitement. Even Qi Xiaoyuan leaned forward and stared at the imposter. The only difference was that Qi Xiaoyuan was merely curious. He wanted to see how the imposter was going to show off Lin Yan's skills. The imposter opened the door and got into the silver car. Then, she started the car and started the engine in one smooth motion. Whoosh! Almost instantly, the silver racing car sped away like a wild horse. F***ck. She's really something, Qi Xiaoyuan muttered to himself. It had to be said that this imposter had put in a lot of effort to impersonate her boss. Even the way she had opened the car door was exactly the same as Lin Yan. If Qi Xiaoyuan hadn't known who she was, he would have been blinded by her, just like Wei Xiaofan. Lin Yan stood beside Pei Yutang as she stared at the silver car, deep in thought. This was truly a professional imitation show. Judging from every single detail and rhythm, the imposter had done a flawless job. She had imitated Lin Yan's state of mind perfectly. Sister-in-law, look, he's so awesome. Pei Yucheng turned to Lin Yan excitedly without turning his head. Sister-in-law, look. She's indeed a legend on the racing track. Her control over the curve and her control over the rhythm are simply invincible. Too strong. If I had 1/10 of this power, I would be invincible. Before Lin Yan could respond, the silver car made a beautiful side horizontal drift at one of the bends. Chapter 499. When Wei Xiaofan saw the way the side horizontal drift ended in a curve, he was overwhelmed with excitement. This was the first time I went to watch Boss's competition live. It was a classic ending move. I still remember what the commentator said. It was breathtaking. Wei Xiaofan exclaimed as he looked at Qi Xiaoyuan. Qi Xiaoyuan glanced at Wei Xiaofan in disdain. Is that so? Why do I feel that there's something strange about her? She doesn't seem as smooth as she used to be. Wei Xiaofan was startled by Qi Xiaoyuan's words. She doesn't seem as smooth as she used to be? No, she doesn't seem any different. I can't tell. Huh, if you can't tell, then that means you're not professional enough. You're obviously not even 1/10,000th of your former self, okay? You're worlds apart from Boss back then. Sigh, I'm so disappointed. Qi Xiaoyuan sneered and shook his head. Wei Xiaofan stared at Qi Xiaoyuan with a frown. Qi Xiaoyuan, what do you mean? Do you think that Boss isn't as good as she used to be? Is that why you want to stop being a fan? The corners of Qi Xiaoyuan's mouth twitched as he stared at Wei Xiaofan as though he was an idiot. Quit being a fan? Who was the one who quit being a fan? Wei Xiaofan was a fake fan through and through. Before Qi Xiaoyuan could continue to mock Wei Xiaofan, the crowd erupted in cheers. On the track, the imposter executed several of Yeva's maneuvers. Yeva rarely used these maneuvers in competitions. Wei Xiaofan ignored Qi Xiaoyuan and joined the crowd in cheering. Not bad. Lin Yen stared at the silver car and chuckled softly. The imposter had put in a lot of effort. She had imitated the techniques that she had mastered well. However, even though she had imitated Yeva perfectly, the difference was obvious. Back then, Lin Yen hadn't done this to perform. She hadn't done it because she wanted everyone to remember her. Everything she had done had been to win the competition. That was all. Lin Yen had come up with these tricks to save time. Everyone knew that a second's delay on the racing track was akin to 1,000 miles behind. However, the imposter had put the cart before the horse in order to better imitate the technique. She had spent a lot of time to complete it. If that was the case, then what was the point of all these racing techniques? It was indeed difficult to imitate, and it was not easy to successfully imitate. However, if one forgot the ultimate goal, such an imitation would be meaningless. Sister-in-law, look, did you see that? Sister-in-law, you have to learn. You have to teach me. Pei Yutong turned to Lin Yen after the imposter's performance was over. Isn't that easy? Lin Yen spoke to Pei Yutong. Easy? Pei Yutong froze in shock. How could it be easy? Are you kidding me? That's Yeva's racing skills. Lin Yen sighed but didn't explain further. Of course, it was easy to just imitate these movements, but if it was used in actual combat and could greatly reduce the time needed, then it could be called skill. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.